Woman's man and every man's woman. Gender and sexuality in ancient Rome. In context. Focus, acceptance of sexual differences. Before, 4th to 5th centuries BC. In ancient Greece, pederasty, intimate relations between men and young adolescent boys, develops as part of the education of young men. After 13th through 16th centuries, the rediscovery of the classical world during the Renaissance leads to greater awareness of same-sex relations. 1969, Italian film director Federico Fellini makes Satyricon, based on a work of the same name by the Roman author Petronius, which openly features male same-sex attraction. 2018, in London, busts of Hadrian and Antonius form part of the British Museum's Desire, Love, Identity, LGBTQ History Trail. Ancient Rome was a deeply patriarchal society where the male citizen controlled his wife, those he enslaved, and his family in all household matters, including love and sex. Yet Romans did not disapprove of same-sex relations or gender crossing. Written records of Roman life first appear around 240 BC. They provide much evidence of varying reliability for diversity in matters of sexuality and gender. Over Rome's long history, attitudes changed significantly as its society evolved and absorbed influences from its multicultural empire. Phallic dominance. The Romans recognized the ancient Greek reverence for love between men, but their approach was less spiritual and more hedonistic. A vital element of Roman ideology was the power of the penis. Sexual penetration was an exercise in domination. Although moderation and self-control in most things, including sex, were held as virtues, most privileged Romans did not follow this path. The more people you penetrated, the more powerful a man you were. Who you penetrated mattered. A Roman man was expected to have sex with his wife and produce children. He could also do anything he wanted with those he enslaved, but penetrative sex with another male Roman citizen was a different matter. Being penetrated was perceived as shameful for that man. Despite this social disgrace, Roman documents talk of sex between men, suggesting that some Roman men sought and enjoyed penetration. The Romans tended to assume that such men were effeminate and used many words to describe them. A Mollus was a soft man, a Pathicus was someone easily dominated by others, and a Cinetus, originally a kind of Greek dancer, was openly effeminate. Roman men rarely used Cinetus as an insult, and no Roman would admit to being one. Same-sex tolerance. Graffiti at the Roman town of Pompeii and frescoes found in its brothels and baths provide evidence of the popularity of various same-sex practices. Roman erotic poetry, particularly the work of Catullus, circa 84 to circa 54 BC, also attests to same-sex acts. Many of Catullus's poems are addressed to his mistress Lesbia, but others involve a young man called Juventius, whom he seems equally keen to have sex. One of the best-known depictions of sex between men from the Roman Empire is the wine cup, a silver drinking vessel made somewhere between 15 BC and 15 CE. On one side it is decorated with a bearded older man penetrating a young male youth. On the opposite side, a young beardless man penetrates a boy. Sex between older and younger men, idealizing ancient Greek Erastes and Romanus relationship, was tolerated. Some wealthy Romans, including emperors, were known to have enslaved boys castrated before puberty to maintain their youthful looks. Most Roman emperors engaged in same-sex relations. The Roman historian Suetonius claimed that of the first 12 emperors, only Claudius had sex exclusively with women. The 14th emperor, Hadrian, was said to have no interest in women, including his wife Vibia Sabina. Juventius, to kiss your eyes as sweet as honey, I will not be satisfied with 30 million kisses. Catullus. Hadrian and Antinous. The son of a Roman senator, Hadrian became a trusted ally of the emperor Trajan and married his grannies Vibia Sabina. Trajan was childless and Hadrian was adopted as the imperial heir, possibly at the instigation of Trajan's wife Pompeia Platina. Hadrian admired Greek culture, including the custom of an older man and a younger man forming a close open sexual relationship. He was particularly attracted to one of his pages, Antinous, a boy born in 110 AD in Bithynia in present-day northwest Turkey. As Aeneas grew older, his relationship with the emperor blossomed. In 130 CE, as the imperial family toured Egypt, Antinous drowned in the Nile. Hadrian was heartbroken and deified his young lover. As many as 28 temples across the empire were dedicated to the god Antinous, part of a cult that lasted more than 200 years. Gender transformations. Romans were open to the possibility of changing sex and aware of biological traits known as hermaphroditism and today as intersex that do not fit binary ideas of male and female. The most prominent hermaphrodite in human history was Favorinus, circa 85 to 155 CE, a philosopher and orator and a favorite of Hadrian. Contemporary records suggest that, although clearly male at birth, he never went through puberty and throughout his life his skin remained smooth and his voice high-pitched. The Roman physician Galen, 129 to circa 260 AD, believed, like the Greek philosopher Aristotle, that a woman was a man who had not fully developed in the womb and could potentially develop further after birth. At puberty, it was suggested, a girl's sexual organs might get sent out of her body, turning her into a boy. Roman scholar Pliny the Elder in 2nd century AD, Greek author Phlegon of Tralles both wrote about such transformations. Modern science suggests that what Pliny and Phlegon recorded were probably the cases of intersex trait known today as 5-alpha reductase deficiency. People exhibiting this trait do not grow a penis and testicles until puberty and are usually assigned female at birth. The Romans also recognized that gender could change from male to female. This was most notably embodied in the Galli, a priestly cult based around the goddess Cybele. In the 3rd century BC, with Hannibal's Carthaginian forces occupying Italian soil, the Romans sought the help of Cybele, the patron goddess of Venus, their legendary Trojan ancestor. A diplomatic mission was sent to Cybele's original home, Phrygia, in present-day Turkey, and returned with a holy statue representing the goddess. Cybele was accompanied with her followers, the Galli, who underwent ritual castration and then lived as women. According to the Jewish historian Philo of Alexandria, the Galli chose this path because they wanted to become women, although some may have felt pressurized to do so, perhaps through poverty. Records of a court case from 77 BC reveal that a Gallus from Genesius was not allowed to inherit money from a friend's will because Galli was seen as neither men nor women. Their castration, an affront to Roman manhood, meant they could never enjoy the rights of a Roman citizen, but the court case shows that the existence of more than 2 genders was accepted in Roman law. Although the Galli were viewed and discussed by most Roman men, including the satirists Martial and Juvenal, Cybele worship continued throughout the Roman Empire until Rome adopted Christianity in the 4th century AD. The Emperor Claudius made Cybele's spring festival an official part of the Roman religious calendar, and the day on which the new Galli were castrated, March 24th, became a public holiday. They say they are not men, they want to pass as women. Firmicus Maternus, Christian Roman polemicist on pagan religion circa 438 CE. Women transforming into men is not an idle story. Pliny the Elder, Natural History, 77 AD. Roman rulers and gender. Gender craftsmanship was openly displayed in the Roman imperial household. The emperors Caligula and Nero were both known to cross-dress. When Nero's beloved wife Papica Sabina died in childbirth, his courtiers offered him a replacement, a young person known as Sporus, but renamed Sabina by Nero. Sabina, although assigned male at birth, was extremely feminine. Nero gave his new wife maids, clothes, jewelry, and even a noblewoman to teach her deportment. Suetonius, admittedly not the most trustworthy source, claimed Nero offered a reward to any surgeon who could make Sabina a complete woman. Suetonius used the Latin word transfigurare, the first known use of the prefix trans in connection with gender surgery. Roman historians told a similar if unreliable story about Elagabalus, who became emperor in 218 AD, just at age 14, was assassinated 4 years later. The emperor, it was claimed, loved cross-dressing, flirted with palace guards, married a man famous for his outsized penis, obsessively dilapidated their body hair, and allegedly offered a reward to any surgeon who could give them a vagina. The truth is hard to discern, as the Roman sources were written after the emperor's death and may have been an attempt to justify the assassination of Elagabalus. Incomplete histories. Evidence in Roman sources for people who are assigned female at birth but embrace a degree of masculinity is scarce. The satirist Lucius Samosata wrote about a person called Megalos, who lived as a man and had a wife but was apparently assigned female at birth. Megalos is fictional, but Fleegan of Trails recorded possible evidence of those who could be called trans men today in his book on Marvels. Two stories describe men who gave birth. These people are likely to have been assigned female at birth but are accepted as men by Roman society. Roman burial sites have yielded some archaeological evidence of people who would be classified as trans today. In 2002, a dig at Catterick in Yorkshire, United Kingdom, revealed a 4th century CE skeleton that appeared male but was buried with jewelry, often associated with galley priestesses. A 1979 dig at Harper Road in London found a burial that appeared to be of a woman, but in 2016 DNA testing of the skeleton revealed XY chromosomes, the combination that usually determines maleness assigned at birth, despite shape being closer to the shape usually considered female. The problem with such finds is that the lives of these people are unknown. Grave goods can be misleading, and determining sex from the skulls is not guaranteed to be accurate. The burial at Harper Road could have been of a feminine man, a trans woman, or an intersex person. However, while individual cases of sexual and gender fluidity in Rome are contested, the weight of evidence of such behavior suggests that Roman society was just as diverse as most modern societies. I was born with a body entirely like that of a woman, but I have the tastes and desires of a man. Megalos from Dialogues of the Courtesans. Women's secret desires. While the history is less well documented, women in ancient Rome doubtless engaged in a variety of sex acts together. The Romans had a word for a woman who enjoyed sex with another woman, tribus, which meant someone who rubbed something or someone. This later inspired the English term tribate, which was used in the 17th century to denote a woman who loved women. Archaeologists have found evidence of Roman dildos made of stuffed leather. The poet Martial wrote an epigram about a woman called Basta, whom he claimed both rubbed and used a dildo with other women. Martial and other Roman men who wrote about sex between women saw such acts as absurd and debasing. There are no records of what Roman women thought.